Hi, this is Crazy Joe,
And this is Christine.
and we have a very special guest with us today. One of the stars of one of my favorite shows of the last few years, Chuck. Zachary Levi is with us, and he is starring on not one, but two shows on TV right now. A game show on Sci-Fi called Geeks Who Drink, and starting this week, he is on the new version of Heroes, Heroes Reborn on NBC. Welcome, Zach.
Well, thank you very much, Crazy Joe and Christine. I'm surprised that it's not Crazy Christine. I want it to be Crazy Joe and Crazy Christine.
Well, the fact that I married him kind of implies that I am crazy, so.
No, touche, touche. How you guys doing today?
Great, yourself?
Yep, fantastic.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. As you pointed out, I'm busy as a one-armed carpenter. I don't know. I'm just making up euphemisms at this point.
I'm guessing you don't
yeah,
sleep much.
things are good. No, but I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no, we're thrilled to have you. Like I said, we were both huge fans of Chuck and huge fans of Heroes. So when we heard you were doing Heroes, we were excited.
Well, thanks, man. I was excited when I saw them announce it, and I kind of went out to my team and said, "Hey, let's go check that out." And I really wanted to play a character that was different than Chuck, and Tim Green gave me a character that was very different than Chuck. So we've been plugging away.
Now, what can you tell us about the character? From what we've seen, he looks like he's a pretty dark character from the promos.
Yeah, he that could definitely be a word, an adjective to describe him. Dark. He is a very tortured man. He and his wife, they lose their son in an incident that's considered a terrorist attack that is blamed on Evos, people with abilities, and it kind of sends them off the rails. And they, for a year, about before you meet them, they are just on a murderous rampage. They become vigilantes, and they decide that the world is only going to be a safe place if they can rid it of people with abilities, and also simultaneously getting vengeance for their son. So it's pretty twisted. They are not they're not okay.
So, given the fact that this character is motivated because of something, very personal and very devastating that happened, I mean, as a lot of things with issues like this, there's a lot of shades of gray. So some people might say, "Oh yeah, this character is absolutely doing the right thing because he's trying to keep the world safe from these people who could be very dangerous." And on the other side, you're probably trying to root for the heroes of the show. So, do you see your character as more of a villain, or do you think it's more of that shades of gray?
Oh, I think the whole show is very shades of gray for sure, and I think that's what makes the most compelling characters.
Agreed.
When you when you have just very black and white, good guy, bad guy. Not that those can't be some very entertaining stories, but not in this world. In this world, I think so much of what the story is about is kind of human rights almost, and with the backdrop of people that can fly and teleport and read minds. And so it's very interesting when you see look, bad guys, in their minds they're good guys. In their
Right.
minds they are doing something that they fully believe in. And as is the case with Luke and Joanne Collins, although you will even find that to start to become a very interesting conversation, because every villain thinks that what they're doing is right. In their mind, it's right. And I think that as you watch through the series, you'll see everything kind of come more into focus, and a lot of people's ideas and be challenged, and as the story builds out. So you just have to watch to see. I can't tell you more than that.
We don't want to get you in trouble for spoilers, but let me ask you this now. Heroes and Chuck, in a lot of people's mind, kind of go together because they aired as a block on Monday nights.
Yeah.
Is there a surreal quality of jumping from one to the other?
Kind of, I guess, yeah. But I don't know. I think to me it's kind of fun. I like the idea that I was on a show that was connected to another show, and now I'm doing that show. Like I don't know. There's something that's very, as a comic book fan, growing up reading a lot of comic books, I love crossover. I always wish that, some heroes would have clearly the tones of the two shows were very different, so it would have been difficult to do it. But, Chuck was, in some random scene in Heroes, or I don't know, Peter Petrelli was in some random scene in Chuck. That kind of stuff, those little Easter eggs and crossover mapping out, that stuff is awesome. And reading comics when I was a kid, watching, the Hulk show up in X-Men, or Spider-Man show up in Captain America, and vice versa, and they were, and that story would be reflected in both of their comic book lines, and you go, wow, that's really cool. They all live in the same world, and they help each other sometimes. And so, not that this is that, because I'm not playing Chuck in Heroes, but there's something fun just on a personal level of me feeling like I'm crossing over, I guess.
And you see, now, Zach, the explanation you just gave and the examples you just gave demonstrate completely why we love you and our audience loves you. You are totally one of us.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks. I appreciate that.
So it's being described as a mini-series. So I guess the question on a lot of people's minds is this a closed story? When it's over, is it over? Or is there a hope that there will be a next season?
I can guess that if I were a betting man, I would say that if the ratings do well enough, that in success NBC would, possibly give the show more life beyond this season. It was in fact announced as a miniseries. It's still considered a miniseries, a limited series. But yeah, I don't know. If I were, the powers that be, I would definitely be, have that in the back of my mind of, okay, is there life beyond just P-13? But that said, that's all just conjecture from my part. That's all above my pay grade. So I don't know ultimately what they're planning on doing, but I could see that. Yeah, I signed up to do 1 year of the show, as it was being pitched to me. So we'll see what the plan is beyond that.
Is there any chance, any hope that we'll get a musical episode of Heroes Reborn so that you can show off your singing chops? Please, for me?
No.
Not even like they did on The Flash, where they had a scene at the karaoke bar for just a little something?
I don't think so. No, I don't. I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be such a disappointment, but yeah. Here, Chuck. We didn't even get a musical episode in Chuck.
Yeah, I know.
To get that musical episode. But you know what? I'll pitch it.
Do that. I appreciate it. Really do.
You're welcome.
As we mentioned, you're currently appearing on 2 TV shows. So you've done film, television, stage, voiceovers and animation. You run Nerd Machine. Was game show host something that you just had to check off your checklist?
It wasn't. It was kind of a funny roundabout way of even ending up there. That I was initially approached by Sci-Fi and Kinetic to. They wanted me to executive produce and host the show, and I said no. I said I'd love to executive produce it. I'd love to help bring this thing into the world, and they were kind of sitting around trying to figure out how exactly to crack it, and I think give it the vantage point and the voice that it needed in order to have a certain amount of, connectedness and legitimacy in the world of, kind of nerd culture. And they believed that I was the guy to do that through the Nerd Machine, and I was honored that they did. And so I certainly wanted to executive produce it, but I had no intention of hosting it in the beginning, and we produced a whole nother pilot with a whole nother host. And Sci-Fi really loved it, and they picked it up, but they still felt like, look, we don't want anybody to host this other than you. And so I sat around and I thought about it for a minute and prayed about it and was like, well, okay. I don't want to not do it because I'm afraid. I mean, there's a lot of, it's weird. As an actor, if you go and become too much of a personality of yourself, then it's very hard for audiences to take you seriously as an actor sometimes. It's a weird psychological thing. And look, I'd love to do everything. I want to host a talk show. I want to host a game show. I want to host a travel show and a whatever. I don't know. I mean, I want to play every role, and I don't think anybody likes limiting themselves, but sometimes you have to be very smart and strategic about the jobs that you take and why. But I just kind of felt like, look, it's my baby. I'm executive producing it. I want it to have a life, the best life it can have. I want people to enjoy it. I want it to be fun. And sure, I'm not a game show host. I've never hosted a game show. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I do enjoy fun, and I do enjoy helping people to have fun. And it kind of worked out, And yes, and I did get to check off my list, hosted a game show. If it goes for just this long and that's over, it's like, well, I did it.
Well,
all right, bucket list.
Well, I hope it sticks around. I hope it's because I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I told Christine when we watched the first episode, this is the most fun game show I've seen since Win Ben Stein's Money.
Oh, no way! Thanks, man.
Yeah, you should have seen us watching it. You should have seen us watching it. We were sitting on the couch calling the answers out and like getting all agitated, like, "Oh no, I know this! Oh no!" I mean, it was hilarious. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks. Well, and honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do it, and one of the biggest things that we've really kind of, stood our ground on, which is, look, we all watch Jeopardy, and we all feel a little dumber for having watched Jeopardy, because there's so much stuff that we just don't know. And by the way, and I love that. I love learning things, but so much of what we wanted to do with Geeks Who Drink was wanted to make something that was really accessible to people, that, you could kind of watch and be like, actually, I do know some of this stuff. And you can kind of get engaged in that way, and it makes it very connected. And so I'm glad that y'all's response has been that, because that's definitely what we've been shooting for. And, and adding a drinking element. I mean, clearly we're taking the show directly from the original and initial actual Geeks Who Drink pub trivia circuit. Yeah. And so we wanted to maintain that reality. It's like, look, this should be in a bar, or feel like it's in a bar, and we're all actually having real drinks, and that adds to the kind of looseness and fun that is the show. But the trivia itself, and being able to contain it all in 22 minutes and have physical challenges and celebrity guests, and it hopefully each one of those elements just leads to more fun. That's really ultimately what we want to do. And so thank you. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it.
You actually answered one of our questions. We were going to ask you if you're really drinking on the show, or if it was the old Dean Martin style fake alcohol.
No, I am indeed drinking. I like me a little tequila rocks with a splash of soda and a squeeze of lime. That's my go-to.
Until we watched the show, we don't get out much. We weren't aware this was a pub game. So this is the show is the first we've actually heard of this. So
Geeks Who Drink is pretty much like the largest, probably most successful pub trivia circuit in the nation. And Condé Nast had done. Well, Wired magazine did an article about them a few years ago. Condé Nast owns Wired, and Condé was so kind of struck by them that they decided to license their television rights, and here we are.
Yeah, and don't think that we're losers, that we didn't know that. It's just that we have children, so we can't go anywhere or do anything fun.
Oh, I don't think you're losers at all. Don't worry about it.
So we're getting pretty close to. We've had you for a while. We know you got a lot to do, shooting 2 TV shows, of course. So we don't want to hold you much longer. But I do have one question for you that we need answered.
Yeah.
Heroes was off the air for 5 years, and now suddenly it's back. Heroes Reborn. Chuck ended in 2012. What are the odds of Chuck Reborn or some kind of Chuck reunion anytime in the near future?
Oh man. Well, look, I've said it many times. I would love to make a Chuck movie. I'd love to make a Chuck movie every year or every 2 years. I'd love to get the band back together. I love our cast and crew so much, and I think it's a really fun world to play in, and lends itself to making movies. I think there's like a silly, lighthearted, and a big-hearted Bond. You can have a bad guy and you can go take him down, and so I am still wanting to make that happen at some point, at some time. It's just a matter of getting everything cranking, and it's a timing thing. I mean,
Right.
I've been very blessed and off and running around. I'm the only one that's really spearheading it as far as anyone that's affiliated with the show. So I don't know that it's going to happen outside of that I know of right now. Me going and trying to make it happen, but I think we can. I mean, I've had some initial conversations with Josh Schwartz and Chris Spedak and Warner Brothers, and everybody's open to the idea of it. It's just a matter of doing it right and win. So I would love to. Stay tuned. I have no idea.
Well, Zach, before we let you go, then, just is there anything we didn't hit on that you want our listeners to know about Heroes or Geeks That Drink, Geeks Who Drink?
No. Just, I mean, I guess the only thing I'd like to say is to anyone out there who's supported me and continued to follow me and believed in me and my career, thank you. Thank you for traveling with me to different shows and believing in me. This business is really gnarly, and there's feast and famine, and a lot of us, socially awkward, insecure actors running around trying to be people pleasers. I guess I don't know, but it's really awesome to reflect back on my life and know that I've been so blessed, and I've had such an incredible fan base and support group of people out there that continue to believe in what I do. So thank you to anyone out there listening. Thank you.
Well, we definitely believe in what you do. I mean, Crazy Joe and I pretty much have loved everything that you've ever done. And we're not just saying that because we're actually talking to you. We really mean it. And Geeks Who Drink is so much fun. We're really, really enjoying it, like we said, and we're really super excited and looking forward to seeing what happens on Heroes Reborn. So we can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much, Christine, and thank you, Crazy Joe. You guys have a fantastic day.